welcome back to another Lounge with Luke Gilfillan. I don't think that's usually what I say at the beginning. It's something else. Hello and welcome back to Lounge with Luke Gilfillan. Yeah, that's it. And it's usually in a higher pitch of the voice, but I guess I messed up that intro there. Really sad. But either way, we got one story to cover today and one story only. We will not be getting off track. I will get right to the point, and hopefully this will be done in 5 minutes. But that's very unlikely. District 90 switches course. Will go remote when classes resume. This is by Maria Maxham, our third or fourth favorite reporter over here at the Lounge with Luke Gilfillan. She does cover our area of River Forest, so we got to give her some credit there. Maybe she beats out Michael Romaine, because Michael Romaine, he basically just does race at the Wednesday Journal, and I honestly think he's a good reporter. I think his reporting would be better used through like interviewing locals, because I feel like 1 in every 3 stories in the Wednesday Journal is about race, and I don't think that 1/3 of all of Oak Park news is about race, but whatever. I think it's disparate coverage that leads to a lot of I guess racially divisive language or racially divisive discourse because it gets such an inflated coverage as a issue. In an August 6th letter to families, Superintendent... this is according to Maria Maxham over at the Wednesday Journal. I already said that, but I forgot to read the first sentence. After voting for an in-person return to school on July 27th board meeting, River Forest Elementary School District 90 has reversed course and will implement a fully remote plan to begin the 2020 to 2021 school year. In an August 6th letter to family, Superintendent Ed Condon, he's a great superintendent. He does a wonderful job, usually. I think he's a very smart and reasonable person and has run the district very well. Either way, this is a bad move. Superintendent Ed Condon announced a change, stating that the transition to full remote learning is in response to mounting concern about the sustained increase of COVID-19 positivity rate in Cook County. Like the 2 people in River Forest who have gotten COVID-19. Horrible, absolutely atrocious, given that the death rates for coronavirus for most people, if you're over 85, it goes up significantly to almost 1%. But if you're under that age, if you're over 65, it also goes up rapidly, but not to like the 1% level, but it's a fairly high number. And if you're below that, you're not dying. That's just it. You're just not dying. It's I think over 50 to 60% of the, I think it's like 52, but I want to say it's just to be careful, I'm going to say 50 to 60% because it's somewhere in that range of all the people who died with it were over the age of 85, and I believe 40%. What percentage of all deaths are from people over 85? Frankie, you can't just come into my room while I'm doing a lounge.
You're doing the lounge?
Yes. Okay, sorry. I just looked up what percentage of deaths are from people over the age of 85. So every year in the United States, persons age 65 and over, you get about 2 million deaths out of all the deaths in the United States. 2 million are 65 and over. That's out of 2.7 to 2.8 million deaths every year in the United States. It's giving me the death rates, but that's not exactly what I'm looking for, is it? No, that's exactly, wait. I'm looking for a percentage of deaths that are among people ages 65 and over. No, I can't get it. All right. Well, CDC doesn't have it, so I'm not going to look any further. Either way, it's somewhere around that range of. It's over 50, probably. 85 and older who make up the 2.8 million deaths every year. I think I complicated that to a level that it didn't need to be complicated to. Either way, the there's not going to be mass bodies piling up behind the school library because the school's reopened. There are, let's just say this, if every single person under the age of 18 were to get coronavirus right now, the amount of deaths from that would probably be half of the amount of people that died from the amount of people under 18 that died from suicide back in 2014, which actually 2014 had an abnormally high suicide rate, which was weird, even though there wasn't really anything that really happened in 2014, but who knows. The district wants to give families enough time to make arrangements for the upcoming school year, the memo stated. Remote learning was always a possibility for River Forest schools. The district's overarching return to school plan makes clear that, under certain conditions, a transition to remote learning could potentially be made. These conditions include the school district being unable to implement or sustain operations in a safe manner and a heightened incidence of illness occurring in the local community. I feel like I want to get to the news around T cells that for some reason is not being. Actually, it is being covered, but not to the extent that it should be. I'll get to that in the next lounge. I don't want to do that here. But in brief summary, there may be some sort of immunity among the general population, anywhere from 20 to 50%. This is according to a report in Science magazine. So either way, what it basically says is 20 to 50% of people may already have an immunity to this thing, to coronavirus, so they can't really catch it. And I had a uncle who got coronavirus, and it sort of went through his home. This was early on during the whole coronavirus thing, but his children didn't test positive for the antibodies to the thing. So maybe that perhaps they had caught a cold earlier in the year. Coronavirus is like a type of cold virus. I'm not a virus expert, but let's say you get a cold like 12 months ago. You may have developed some sort of immunity to the coronavirus, which would bring the threshold for herd immunity, which I talked about in the Sweden episode of this thing. It would bring it down from like 60 to 80% down to 20 to 40% for the herd immunity, which is a wide range. But you are seeing in Sweden, who did the controlled avalanche strategy, which is basically what we did, but we did it accidentally and destroyed our economy in the process. But basically, they're not seeing very many new cases and new deaths. So they may be done with it because it went through the entire population. Now they have enough of the population that has antibodies to the virus to get herd immunity, and now they're done with it, and they can just go and live the rest of their time out as normal because the virus can't spread because everyone has already had it, and they can't catch it and spread it that far. And a lot of people are saying that we don't have long-term immunity to the virus. That's something that a lot of people have been saying. The reports that say that the immunity to the virus only lasts 8 months is from reports from South Korea early on in this thing that showed that people who had gotten coronavirus before had gotten it again. That may be because there are two strains that are sort of floating around. That's the European strain and the Asian strain. And the people that got the Asian strain that are now getting coronavirus again, they might have gotten the European strain. And we've had both of those strains going through the United States, most notably the Asian strain in like California and whatever. And so while California may be very population dense, they didn't have as much of a issue as New York did because they had a different strain of the virus, which was less transmissible, but not less deadly necessarily. That's why New York partially got hit. So we've been getting hit by both of those strains in the United States. So we might be able to hit that herd immunity threshold. Either way, I went on a tangent. I'm sorry. Okay, whatever. So either way, Roosevelt is closed, and I'm very upset about this. And that's about it. They closed because of public pressure, and don't believe that they closed because of the cases rising. That's a lie. And yeah, actually, have the cases rise? Illinois confirmed coronavirus cases by month. So I'm doing it by month. I know there was a spike this morning, but I don't think a spike this morning is reasoning for um, locking down the schools back down in the fall. Coronavirus deaths. Okay. Okay, so the deaths have remained fairly stagnant since. No, this is all. Oh no, that's not what I'm looking for. I mean, I could look at Evanston, but that's not really what we want. Oh, okay. I'll just go to the Illinois Department of Public Health. Whatever. Positive cases confirmed. What are we looking at? I don't care about the age demographics, at least in this context. Cases. So in the last 5 days, the cases. Okay, why are they showing me the total? Why would I care about the total if you're doing it by day? Either way, it's been stagnant. It hasn't been giant spikes of 20,000 cases a day. It's basically stagnant. There's been a little bit of an increase, but that's not the end of the world. All right, see you.